en hoop, verdriet en saam staan jy staan. Jy is altyd daar. Dit wat ons doen, ons liefdes, ons vreugdes, ons plekke, ons thuistes, tot daar waar ons reis, jy is daar. Afrikaans is ons wese. Dis die taal waarin ons groet, die taal is in ons bloed, is Afrikaans, vir ons mense. En ek stuur vir jou 'n sein, met 'n boodskap daarby, en waar jy is, sal jy dit kry, in Afrikaans vir ons mense. Al verander straatname, al word helde laat val, ons is steeds deur ons adem, ons kultuur, ons verhaal, dit sal altyd bestaan. Afrikaans is ons wese. Dis die taal waarin ons groet, die taal is in ons bloed, is Afrikaans, vir ons mense. En ek stuur vir jou 'n sein, met 'n boodskap daarby, en waar jy is, sal jy dit kry, in Afrikaans vir ons mense. Ons is daarmee gebore, die taal waarvoor ons staan, dit vloei deur ons are, ons kinders praat het saam, dit sal altyd bestaan. Afrikaans is ons wese. Dis die taal waarin ons groet, die taal is in ons bloed, is Afrikaans, vir ons mense. En ek stuur vir jou 'n sein, met 'n boodskap daarby, en waar jy is. Dis die taal waarin ons groet, die taal is in ons bloed, is Afrikaans, vir ons mense. En ek stuur vir jou 'n sein, met 'n boodskap daarby, en waar jy is, sal jy dit kry, en Afrikaans vir ons mense. Afrikaans vir ons mense. Afrikaans vir my mense. Afrikaans vir ons mense.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down.
Alright, here we are, folks.
Can't be afraid to live this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in eyes, they know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise, you know that we gonna let it out. Tonight, we gonna let it out. Tonight, we gonna let it out. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it out.
Welcome back once again. This is Chris Report, and he assured me that since Simon's down in Boulders, folks, this is Chris Wyatt reporting from South Africa. Grüß Gott, servus, bonjour, bienvenue. Hoe gaan dit, eh? What's the jang? How's it going, folks? Welcome back to the programs. Kwaheri. Jumbo. Habarigani. Welcome back to the program, folks. This is Chris live in central Pennsylvania for today, April 29th, 2024. Just a quick second here. For my campaign, I took a cooler around for my volunteers at the polling stations, all of whom had their own coolers and food. But nonetheless, I took something with drinks and stuff for folks to munch on, chips and things, just in case they got the munchies or had the thirst. Instead of buying the large, 330 milliliter or 12 ounce cans of Coca-Cola, I bought these at the warehouse shop. These are the 7.5 ounces or 222 milliliter, which seem kind of silly, but these are actually quite good. They get quite cold, the cans, in the fridge. And honestly, these days, I can't sit around and drink a 12 ounce can, 330 milliliters, just to drink a can. However, this is something I can manage quite fine and not waste. So while it's more expensive because of smaller packaging, in the end, it winds up being cheaper. I'm not wasting the soft drink. Garrett says, Guten Abend, Oberst. That would be me, the Oberst. That's German for colonel, full colonel. Well, it is kind of cool. Yeah, those are small. Yeah, there's really good choice there. But anyway, welcome back to the program, folks. Chris Ehlers is here, Val Cooper, Keith Alderson, Hester Kotze, Erica, Teresa, Malcolm Clothe's back. How's the boat going? Gavin Comer, Monry Siebertson from Cape Town, Dee Barham also in from Cape Town. Oh, Garrett is here from Somerset West. Erica is in. Siambo, Habarigani, Erica. Brett Sessoms is here. Heart of the Hunter, I'm not familiar with that. And so it's the usual suspects. Kaiser Sose informing on the usual suspects appearing on the program. There's Brian Lawrenson popping in. Welcome to everybody. Thought we had a slow start here with just, I think, a dozen people, but now we're up to 32 and climbing. Thank you for that. Good to see you all again. Jacques Vint. Hey, Jacques. Well, folks, I begin this day with tragic news yet again. There is no excuse whatsoever that 30 years after the all-race elections and the new dispensation in South Africa that any child should be dying in a pile of feces. Yet another child has died on the ANC's watch in the Eastern Cape yet again. And a kindergarten creche, a 3-year-old little boy suffocated on human feces trying to go to the toilet. This is sad beyond belief, ladies and gentlemen. Do Black Lives not matter to the ANC and their criminal cabal who've stolen from everyone? A 3-year-old child has died in a pile of feces. You can't make this stuff up. We cannot forget this malfeasance, this negligence, this horrific governance that is the abscess on the bum of South Africa known as the African National Congress. These people are craven, they are sad, they're pathetic. And South Africans bear the burden and the cost of their negligence and malfeasance. In this case, a 3-year-old boy. Eastern Cape preschool deeply sorry after a 3-year-old boy falls into pit toilet and dies. Unbelievable. Unexibo Bolteni died at a creche after falling in a pit latrine. What a lovely child, and a shame that a life has been lost. DA member of the provincial legislature, Horatio Hendricks, says that over 400 schools in the Eastern Cape still have pit latrines. Little Champions Daycare Center in Dansane in the Eastern Cape is enhancing security measures and supervision protocols after a 3-year-old boy died in hospital a day after he was rescued from a pit toilet. Can you imagine this little boy survived for a day? The school refused to comment on the incident initially. This happened back on April 19th. He was placed in intensive care. Words cannot express how deeply sorry we are for failing to uphold this trust and for the profound loss that has occurred, according to their post. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is a private facility. So you're asking, how can I blame the ANC? Because they're more focused on race hustling and destroying South Africa by rapacious theft than they are worried about where the money goes. As I said, this is a private institution, but it receives money from the government of South Africa. Horatio Hendricks said that the backlog for infrastructure for things like pit latrines is now 8 billion rand a year. Yeah, more than 400 schools with 130,000 children in Eastern Cape that use pit latrines. 130,000 children still at risk of dying of suffocation in feces. Wow. How many more kids must die before the department deals with this indignity of pit latrines in our schools? MEC for Education, instead of taking responsibility, pointing fingers at the daycare center where the child died. Belongs to a nonprofit organization, but the state has been funding the center. Folks, that's heartbreaking. I mean, I don't know what to say. What a beautiful, innocent little 3-year-old child. What a beautiful, innocent little 3-year-old child. Can you imagine? It's just, it almost brings tears to my eyes at this moment. It's just disgusting. It's disgusting. They care so much. How hard is it not to build FIFA World Cup stadiums and build latrines at 400 schools? How hard is it not to steal billions of dollars in World Bank, IMF, and African development money to the tune of $4.3 billion in 2020 in your COVID scams? And you could have built latrines when the kids weren't even in school. Another fire, this in the Western Cape once again, at Kirstenbosch Nature Park in Cape Town. You can see that the fire flames are up there on top of the mountain. Firefighters are still monitoring hotspots above Kirstenbosch National Botanical Garden. During the fire, more than 20 guests were evacuated from 2 accommodation sites in the park. Table Mountain National Park Fire Management said the fire at Skeleton Gorge had a number of hotspot areas as of this morning. Aerial resources have been placed on standby for firefighting, but operations are currently not possible due to challenging wind conditions and cloud cover. That was as of early this morning. Well, I'll tell you what, ever since Paulie's moved to the Western Cape, he's been a busy camper with all of these fires in the Western Cape in this fire season. The Independent Electoral Commission has called for a speedy probe into allegations that Umkhonto Sizwe party had put fraudulent signatures on their petition for election. The Electoral Commission in South Africa has called for police to expedite their investigation into reports of Zuma's Umkhonto Sizwe party allegedly forged the signatures it submitted to the commission during the candidate nomination process. The commission calls on crime investigation authorities to expedite the investigations to establish the veracity, that should be veracity, of the allegations. An expeditious investigation is essential for the conduct of free and fair elections. Indeed, it should be for the conduct of free and fair elections. There you go. Well, real freedom is coming, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations to South Africa. I must tell you that real freedom is coming, and it's coming in the guise of the economic freedom fighters, or so they claim. Sorry. Freedom from your personal property, freedom from your hard earnings, freedom from your homes, your cars, your bank accounts. Yeah, that's what freedom is coming as the Nationalization Party, known as the Economic Freedom Fighters, hoodwinks more people again. EFF leader Julius Malema has told supporters to view a recent poll which found the party could garner just 11.5% of support as a driving force in their campaigning efforts. The poll suggests the MK is eating in EFF support and halting advances made by the EFF in recent years. Yeah, well, it's not just the ANC that's suffering. It's the EFF that's suffering from this renegade party that's now stands accused of having fraudulently forged signatures on its petition to get on the ballot. All South Africans must be part of the journey to freedom, says Cyril Ramaphosa in his short crawl to lies. Not the long walk to freedom, but Cyril Ramaphosa's short crawl to lies, yes. He says he was writing after the 30th anniversary of South Africa's elections. The task of national reconciliation embarked on in 1994 was about liberating white South Africans from the shackles of prejudice and fear as it was about freeing black South Africans from the indignity of apartheid. Well, I agree with that 100%. It was a day in which the country turned its back on apartheid beyond the great wrong. Oh, look at this. He doesn't capitalize apartheid, but apartheid is capitalized. So look at that. Look at that racist piece by him. Apartheid is a formal system. It's a proper noun. It is capitalized in English. This is what happens when scumbag racists run the country and try to destroy the English language. We see idiots capitalizing the word black, which is an adjective to describe things. Black is being capitalized when describing black people, but white, which is also an adjective used to describe things, is not capitalized. That is pure and simple racist garbage, as is this failure to capitalize apartheid, which is a proper noun, and whether you like it or not, must be capitalized. But Cyril Ramaphosa of the race hustler in chief for South Africa fails to capitalize this. Beyond the great wrong that was apartheid, it was a system designed to deny people their dignity. No, it was a system designed to protect the false fears of a white minority over their loss of political autonomy. National humiliation and degradation range from bureaucratic pettiness, such as whites-only benches, restaurants, and beaches, to the brute force that saw families torn apart and forcibly moved from their houses and land. Yes, but of course, the system you're talking about didn't end in 1994 with the ascension of the ANC. It ended by early 1990 at the hands of the National Party, who surrendered. Wow, Ziluva, or Flower in Xhosa, is this political party led by the former Democratic Alliance mayor of Midvaal, who is now running his own little party here. He joined Zuma's MK party in calling for the Constitution to be replaced by parliamentary supremacy. Wow, what a fraud this guy is. What an absolute fraud this guy is. Bongani Boloye's party, Ziluva, wants to replace constitutionalism with parliamentary supremacy, a system which means the apex court cannot overturn laws passed in parliament. In a statement released today, he said the country must consider alternative leadership that can prioritize good governance, transparency, and inclusive policies that mitigate these risks and strive for a better future for South Africans, which is a fine statement, and it's appropriate, but it has nothing to do with constitutionalism. Therefore, correcting the government from the top is essential in prioritizing good governance. Leadership sets the tone. Well, that would mean removing the African National Congress, not altering the Constitution of South Africa. Yet another useless party out there on the stage. Well, the Democratic Alliance has struck back at the Congress of South African Trade Unions, COSATU, after COSATU accused the DA of being anti-labor. Well, I'm anti-labor, I'll tell you that right now. Mostly corrupt criminal organizations. Very few actually do much for employees, and they simply drive up the prices of goods and fail to deliver services and benefits to employees the world over. DA hits back at COSATU. The DA has accused Labor Federation COSATU of being an enemy of unemployed South Africans after its rejection of the DA's proposed economic policy. The party unveiled that policy last week, saying that if it wins the 29 May elections, the minimum wage will not be increased any further and its monetary value will not be allowed to be eroded by inflation. DA head of policy Matthew Cuthbert said the unemployment crisis was a result of ANC, COSATU, and the SACP alliance. Yes, the tripartite alliance of evil is in fact the reason why unemployment is so bad. Raising the minimum wage for the few people who are working is simply going to keep more people from getting jobs. Yep. Rise Mzansi will not go into coalition with the ANC. Who cares? They're not even going to get 1% of the vote. Yet they're talking about coalition with the ANC. Well, let's hope so. Let's hold Songizo Zibi to his words here. Speaking of political party funding at a podcast, he explained how the party had secured $15 million in donations from Rebecca Oppenheimer. Well, suppose it's week after May 29th and the ANC doesn't have its majority. ANC President Ramaphosa will be forced to pick up the phone and woo political parties, including Rise Mzansi. But will Rise Mzansi do it? He said, we would consider coalitions dispassionately. There's a tendency in South Africa to say you need to get into coalitions with parties that you ordinarily would agree with on some of your core principles. We've decided to take a rational approach, and if we're willing to address 67% of each other's concerns, then we can talk. But he's not going to go into coalition with the ANC. Well, let's see if Rise Mzansi holds to their word. Police are investigating a break-in into the Independent Electoral Commission's offices, provincial offices in Johannesburg. What's going on there? Skullduggery. Watergate. Watergate in South Africa. Nxolo Sibia story says police investigating a burglary Electoral Commission offices in Houghton. Police spokesperson Brigadier Brenda Muradili said a laptop was stolen. It's a business burglary reported by an IC employee at the Houghton premises. The break-in was discovered at 5:45, so far only a laptop belonging to an administration employee had been reported stolen. Only one laptop in an office full of computers and laptops. Gee, I wonder why that laptop was stolen. There will be no water in that gate, says Jacques Vint. That's correct. Well, folks, some interesting stats here. I'm going to run this up. We'll talk about it later on, but just very quickly here, News 24 does us a service here by putting up all kinds of data here, the age and breakdown and gender of people running for office. 14,903 people are candidates for the elections. 8,663 are men. 6,240 are women. And here's the age category. Almost 2,000 are over the age of 60. Wow. Most are between the age of 40 and 49, which is a sweet spot. And it goes on and on. Breakdown, 31 completely new parties standing in the first election. And it goes on and on and on. So interesting. We'll cover that more later. Talk more about the election and that. So a fraud probe finally underway into Gary van Niekerk, the mayor of Nelson Mandela Bay. Of course, the probe was initiated by Ujik Johnson, the former mayor of Nelson Mandela Bay. She started this probe against him last year. Probing and fraud allegations against the mayor of Nelson Mandela Bay has finally commenced. Infighting among councillors caused the delay. The delays were due to infighting among members of the committee conducting the probe. It stemmed from claims that although Van Niekerk had not been the Speaker of the Nelson Mandela Bay Council for several months in 2022, he used an official letterhead and signature of the office to appoint Bokwana Burns attorneys and rack up legal bills to the tune of R500,000. Speaker Ujik Johnson established a multi-party committee in November 2023 to investigate the allegations. So now they're finally looking into Mr. Van Niekerk. Astral, South Africa's largest poultry producer says it's going to have huge earnings increase, 445% first half earnings. Company expects earnings per share of 874 cents and 891 compared to just 163 a year ago. South Africa's biggest poultry producer, Astral Foods, now expects headline earnings per share for the 6 months ending March to be as high as 445% higher. Well, can we finally end the unjust, illegitimate, protectionist tariffs against U.S. poultry imports? And South African poultry producers can apparently hold their own? Probably not. Turning our attention to Kenya in East Africa, a dam burst and dozens were killed in the deluge. There, what you see is a SUV tipped up and buried in debris. At least 35 people killed, dozens others missing after a dam burst in southern Kenya, sweeping away homes and vehicles as the country grapples with weeks of El Nino rains. A CNN team on the ground in Kenya's Rift Valley towards the town of Mai Mahui has been overturned. It was seen overturned vehicles, uprooted trees, and homes which have been swept away in mass flooding. Rescue teams are digging through the mud and debris trying to find survivors. There you can see the flooding. My goodness. Next to a church. This is a drone view of damaged houses after heavy flash floods wiped out several homes when the dam burst. There you go. Now, the burglary at the IEC office sounds very much like Watergate. Burkina Faso has suspended even more media outlets in the wake of allegations that the military is complicit in the extrajudicial execution of civilians, including 56 children. After banning the BBC and the Voice of America for 2 weeks, they struck again. Among those named in the weekend order are French newspaper Le Monde, West France, British publication The Guardian. The Guardian. When you censor The Guardian as a leftist government, then something's really out of control. And Deutsche Welle, as well as French broadcaster TV5 Monde, and Superior Council Communication. It said the Superior Council Communications. All of these Western publications have been sanctioned. German, French, British, and American publications, which are reporting on events in Burkina Faso. And apparently they don't want us to learn about what's happening in Burkina Faso. Meanwhile, in the ever-present little fiefdom and kingdom, one of two countries in the world in which one family rules everything, the other being North Korea, this fiefdom, known as Togo, once a German colony of Togoland, a bit larger than it is today, continues to be under the thumb of Nasanabe family. Togo holds a key parliament bout after divisive reform. In Lomé, Togolese began voting in legislative elections today after a divisive constitutional reform that opponents says allows President Faure Nasanabe to extend his family's decades-long grip on power. His father served for over 4 decades after a military coup, and he's been in power for over 20 years, 6 decades of only one family in charge of Togo, and it remains a pathetically poor, sad place to this day. The International Criminal Court is considering issuing an arrest warrant for Benjamin Netanyahu. They're probing Israel's actions in the West Bank and Gaza, independent of other cases, the International Court of Justice. Israeli media are considering or reporting that the government has received indications from legal officials that the International Criminal Court is considering issuing arrest warrants for senior officials, including Benjamin Netanyahu. In addition to Netanyahu, the ICC investigation could lead to arrest warrants being issued for Defense Minister Yoav Gallant and Chief of Staff Herzi Halevi. To date, no comment from the ICC on arrest warrants for any of the terrorist leaders of Hamas. Of course, they have no jurisdiction over Hamas. I'd have to check, but I think Israel is a signatory to the ICC. If they are, they're fools. Japan has intervened to stop the yen from collapsing against the weak dollar. That's really sad for Japan if their currency is so weak it's collapsing against the dollar, kind of like South Africa. The reason people are shifting to the U.S. is higher interest rates in the U.S., where you can make more money than you can with negative interest rates in Japan. Japan intervened to prop up the yen after it hit a multi-decade low against the dollar. Why could this multi-decade low not have occurred in 2019 when I was in Japan for the World Cup? Eh? That would have been nice, but a lot cheaper. Japanese officials didn't officially confirm the move, but Masato Kanda, the finance minister's top currency official, hinted at the intervention. It's difficult to ignore the bad effects that these violent and abnormal movements in currencies will cause for the nation's economy. Japan in trouble. What's going on with the start time? What's this? Oh, you're right. That's why nobody was here. I didn't pick that time. I did not pick that time, folks. Wow. I did not pick that time. Thank you for that, John Jarvis. That was not me. That was YouTube that did that. Wow. It's not the first time they pulled that crap. I'll be darned. Sorry about that. Sorry for the confusion. Yeah, thank you for pointing that out. Nope, I set up several broadcasts earlier today, and this one, sorry. Yep, so you're actually early. You were correct, John. That is there. That's odd. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Humza Yousaf of the Inverness clan of, famous Yousaf clan of Inverness, those with the orange tartan, that would be Humza Yousaf, has resigned as Scotland's first minister. The famous Scottish family of Scotland here, of course, himself right there, Humza Yousaf. His decision comes as he faces a likely defeat in 2 forthcoming votes of confidence, or no confidence, brought by opposition parties. Humza Yousaf of the Inverness Yousafs has resigned as the Scottish National Party leader and Scotland's first minister. I'm not willing to trade my values and principles or to do deals with whomever simply for retaining power, he says. Well, good for you. Now you can go back to Inverness. Earlier this month, he said he was quite confident that he would win a no-confidence vote, but now he's no longer so confident. The Scottish Greens are taking him out. The Glasgow-born Yousaf of the Inverness Yousafs, whose paternal grandparents and father immigrated to Scotland from Pakistan in the 1960s, has been hailed as a polished communicator. Well, not so polished. He's out. He's out. Billy Vunipola in Spain gets tased and arrested. What the heck is going on here? English national Billy Vunipola has revealed his side of the Mallorca story. The 31-year-old international dominated headlines after news broke that he was tasered and arrested following an alleged violent incident over the weekend. Reports indicated that Vunipola was tasered twice by police after arriving at a bar in the island's capital of Palma. At one point, he had apparently removed his shirt and confronted passers-by. The report claims it took 8 police officers to subdue and handcuff Billy Vunipola. He was taken to a hospital where he had to be sedated. You can see the bruise under his eye there. The Mallorca-based Ultima Hora newspaper carried a video showing a handcuffed Vunipola as well as other men being led from a police van into a courtroom. Vunipola says he was released after what's called an express trial where he was fined £205. In a statement released by Saracens, he said, I can confirm I was involved in unfortunate misunderstandings when I was leaving a club in Mallorca on Sunday, which got out of hand. Contrary to media reports, there was no violence, no fight, and I did not threaten anybody at any stage with bottles, chairs, or anything else. Spanish investigation is now over from Mallorca. Interesting. Germany launches a plot against geriatric coup plotters. They're claiming that they were building an army. Of course, none of them could even carry a rucksack for more than 100 meters, let alone miles, and be an effective army. But hey, it is what it is. 9 suspects will take the stand in Stuttgart for attempting to install minor aristocrat and businessman Heinrich XIII Prince Ghraib. 9 suspected members of a German far-right group accused of plotting to overthrow the government are set to go on trial. German prosecutors will open the hearing in Stuttgart today. The 9 suspects are accused of plotting a violent coup to install minor aristocrat Heinrich XIII Prince Ghraib as Germany's leader and imposing martial law. The case claims the defendants, including former soldiers and judges, as well as a member of parliament for the Alternative for Germany, participated in the military arm of the German Reichsbürger, which espouses conspiracy-based theories regarding sovereignty. Well, James, you send it to the email address that is for this account, and I'll check on it. Yeah. So, and who is Sean Stewart, UCS? Well, the Home Office in the United Kingdom, in the aforementioned Guardian, which is being sanctioned by Burkina Faso for reporting the truth, says, the Guardian says the Home Office is to detain asylum seekers across the UK in a shock Rwanda operation. The Home Office will launch major operation to detain asylum seekers across the UK on Monday, weeks earlier than expected in preparation for their deportation to Rwanda. Officials plan to hold asylum seekers who turn up for routine meetings at immigration services or bail appointments, and will also pick up people nationwide in a surprise 2-week exercise. Wow, will the UK actually begin to deport fraudulent asylum seekers? I'm not going to hold my breath. Something the U.S. should be doing. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez, will not resign over the alleged corruption of his wife. He almost looks fake in that photograph. Sanchez said in a conference that he will remain in office days after he suspended his public functions to reflect on whether or not to continue his mandate following corruption allegations against his wife. Well, nothing happening in Spain then, apparently. Hey, Joe Biden ramps up the lies once again. This time his lies are tied to, of course, the only issue that Democrats can bring out to bring voters to vote for their disreputable party. And that, of course, is the lies about abortion. Claiming it's a human right, claiming it's medical freedom, claiming that it's banned in America. None of those things are true. But hey, Joe Biden comes out once again, going to Florida, trying to hoodwink Floridians into voting for his failed legacy. Biden ramps up Florida campaign to capitalize on heartbeat abortion ban that starts this week. Florida will impose a ban on abortion after 6 weeks of pregnancy beginning Wednesday, a day the Biden campaign hopes to start galvanizing enough Sunshine State voters to oppose the law to tip the increasingly GOP-leaning state back to Democratic column in November. The Biden campaign is saturating Florida in the wake of the state Supreme Court ruling that paved the way for a 6-week limit on abortion starting May 1st. It is the third largest populated state in the nation, and the Biden campaign is suddenly making a play for Florida's 30 electoral votes using the lie of abortion. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it brings me no great joy to discuss the following topic. It's quite an embarrassment to my nation, a nation founded on the highest ideals, a nation that at times has been found wanting, but all things considered has been the best nation for human progress and liberty in its entire existence. Nonetheless, this painful embarrassment is something I simply refuse to believe when I first read media reports about it. Of course, the media was so George Bush hating that it seemed implausible, but in fact, it was genuine. And it is a disgrace to the United States. It is a black mark on the history of the United States Army along the lines of My Lai massacre. This is a shameful piece of American history. And I do not shy from talking about our shame as well as I'm talking about our success. The Abu Ghraib abuse scandal, 20 years on. 2 decades since images of Iraqi men being abused by U.S. soldiers shocked the world, victims are still seeking justice through civil actions against military subcontractors. Let's remember that these were National Guardsmen and reservists who did this. That doesn't make it any less egregious. When U.S. TV news program 60 Minutes, this too revealed images of Iraqi men being abused and humiliated by the American jailers at Abu Ghraib in Iraq 20 years ago, this weekend, the United States-led invasion and subsequent occupation of Iraq was just 13 months old. For many in the Arab world, Abu Ghraib quickly became a symbol of U.S. imperialism and hypocrisy, shattering George Bush's repeated claims that the U.S. was a bastion of human rights. 2 decades later, a civil case has been brought by Abu Ghraib victims against the U.S. contractor that operated the prison. Many are now viewing Israelis' ongoing U.S.-backed military action in Gaza in the same light, but it's not. Then U.S. General Mark Kimmett, who was Deputy Director of Coalition Operations, was interviewed in April 2004, said, frankly, I think all of us are disappointed in the actions of a few. You know, every day we love our soldiers, but frankly, some days we're not always proud of our soldiers. Well, that's not acceptable. It was far worse than that. The Red Cross said it uncovered numerous examples of violations of Geneva Conventions by U.S. military personnel. It said high-value detainees were at high risk of being subjected to a variety of harsh treatments ranging from insults, threats, and humiliations to physical and psychological coercion. So who was held accountable for this? Who was held accountable for this? Private Lindy England, the one who was holding a leash of an Iraqi general lying on the ground, appeared in several prison abuse images. In 2005, she was found guilty of 6 counts of abuse by a U.S. military court-martial and sentenced to 3 years in prison. 2 years later, in March of 2007, she was released. Charles Grainer, U.S. Army prison guard convicted by the military court-martial, was handed a 10-year prison sentence in 2005 after being convicted of 5 counts of assault, maltreatment, and conspiracy. He was released from prison 6 years later. Of the 11 soldiers court-martialed by the U.S. for mistreating Iraqi prisoners, 9 were given jail time. Yet no senior officers were held accountable for the disgrace that is Abu Ghraib. The head of intelligence there, Barbara Fast, full disclosure, once upon a time my commander in 66 MI, Barbara Fast never got promoted 3-star general, which she felt was owed to her, but she was never held accountable for the actions that occurred at Abu Ghraib on her watch. Disgraceful, shameful black mark on the United States. We do not tolerate this sort of nonsense. We've gone from that to where we just simply do the same thing to American citizens over alleged abuses from January 6th. At least 4 people killed in Oklahoma tornado, another, as the threat of severe storms continues from Missouri to Texas. My goodness. At least 4 people are dead, including an infant, after a tornado outbreak in Oklahoma overnight as severe storms threaten more twisters. Ladies and gentlemen, there are some images of the neighborhood on the left before the tornado and on the right. Wow, that's the same. It's just a continuation of the street. You can see the total devastation that took place here. It seems like every business downtown has been destroyed now here in Sulphur. It's definitely the most damage we've seen since I've been governor that I've seen. Says Governor Ken Stitt. Sulphur is 80 miles south of Oklahoma City. Look at that. My goodness. The town is completely destroyed. This is all in Sulphur, Oklahoma. And here's where the risk of tornadoes, severe weather risk today. Sad. Unfortunate, ladies and gentlemen. Tragedy. Well, immigration groups are demanding that the U.S. government stop violating the law, something I've been pointing out for a couple of years now, under President Biden's corrupt government, transporting people on flights within the United States who lack real ID. Wow, finally that fan shut off from my PC. That's a lot better. Thing's been running for a couple days. The U.S. government finally stopped. No, my fan stopped. The U.S. government transporting illegal aliens, criminal invaders around the country without real ID. I cannot get on a plane without real ID, but they can. Immigration groups demand crackdown on migrants boarding planes. They're not migrants, they're criminal alien invaders. Border security experts are demanding that Congress use an upcoming debate over Federal Aviation Administration to pass legislation that will make it tougher for immigrants living in the U.S. illegally to get on airplanes. It's already illegal. You don't need more legislation. You simply need to follow the rule of law. It is illegal to board a plane without real ID or a foreign passport that meets the standards of the international community. It's simple as that. There's no question. There's no ambiguity. There's no what ifs. There's no exceptions. It's simply the law. All they have to do is follow the law. But apparently we are incapable of that. We have to create new laws all the time when we cannot follow existing law. Student protest over Hamas and its war continue to burn through U.S. campuses. College campuses around the country implored pro-Palestinian student protesters to clear out tent encampments with rising levels of urgency as classes wrap up for the semester and campuses prepare for graduation ceremonies. Many of these criminals continue to deface and defame our universities and should not be enrolled in them. Kick them out, send them packing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what happens when you rise the minimum wage? It's lovely, isn't it? Everybody gets a pay raise, except that you devalue the dollar or the rand. When you raise the minimum wage, you automatically put inflation into the economy. Statement of fact. But the leftists seem to think that they can set a minimum wage and it all is kumbaya. Of course it's not kumbaya. You crush small businesses and you allow huge corporations to survive by destroying entrepreneurialism and ingenuity. Well, in California, where they raised the minimum wage, guess what's happening? People can no longer afford fast food. California fast food chains are now serving sticker shock. Higher state minimum wage went into effect on April 1st, and chains say burritos and burgers are getting more expensive in response. There's Chipotle right there in California in San Rafael. This is a percentage change from February to April 15th in prices from a select number of fast food joints. Chick-fil-A has raised prices 11%, Starbucks 8%, Shake Shack 7%, Chipotle 6.5%, and Taco Bell 4%. Prices at Chick-fil-A, Burger King, Pizza Hut, and other fast food chains have increased since September. Wow. The state isn't making it easy, says Chipotle's chief executive Brian Nicklin. In Los Angeles on a recent afternoon, Seth Amitton, a 39-year-old therapist, said his usual $16 meal he picks up at the Chick-fil-A now costs $20. 13% increase since February. Well, boy, let's raise that minimum wage and cost people their jobs. Yep. Strange thing going on here. The United States has purchased, apparently, according to Business Insider, 81 former Soviet interceptor fighters. Wow, we bought all these jets for $19,000 a piece. If I'd known that, I wouldn't run for office. I would have bought one of these jets. Wow. The U.S. has purchased 81 Soviet-era combat aircraft from Kazakhstan. Wow. They're upgrading their fleet. They auctioned off 117 Soviet-era fighter and bomber aircraft, including MiG-31s, MiG-27s, MiG-29s, and Su-24 bombers. The Kiev Post reported that the declared value sale was 1 billion Kazakhstani tenge, or 2.26 million, meaning the average price for one of these planes was $19,300. Oh, wow. Now, they're claiming that a Russian news site said the U.S. bought 81 of the planes. Are we going to use them for OP4? Perhaps. Well, this is an opinion piece in the Wall Street Journal, and it's 100% correct. The Biden regime's current policy to eliminate coal-fired power stations will lead to electricity scarcity and will cripple the economy and cause unemployment and the collapse of the United States. Add that to the debt burden that we currently have because of callous, weak-willed, that's the same thing, callow, weak-willed, and callous, that's not the same thing. Callous, callow, weak-willed, that's the same. Politicians in Washington, D.C. will bury us in debt and cause the collapse of the dollar, and this will ensure it. The editorial board of the Wall Street Journal says the Biden EPA plan to ration electricity. New rules are designed to eliminate fossil fuel plants. Energy scarcity is sure to result. The Biden regimes and regulations are coming so fast and furious that it's hard to even keep track, but we're trying. On Thursday, Environmental Protection Agency proposed its latest doozy, rules that will effectively force coal plants to shut down while banning new natural gas plants. Natural gas, almost no emissions from that, far less than the creation of solar panels, yet they're going to ban it. Wow. Barack Obama's regulations spurred a wave of coal plant closures. Now Biden is going to close them all down. And America will not have, we will be South Africa with blackouts, daily blackouts coming in 2032 to America. Thank you, Joe Biden and the leftists. Well, this is a dishonest opinion piece from The Guardian. Stunning police brutality will ignite student anti-war movement in America. No, it's not stunning. There is no stunning police brutality. These spoiled, petulant children misbehaving on college campuses and breaking the law are not being abused by police. I've seen the footage. They're the ones who are resisting. If they not resist, there's no force applied. But when they pose a danger to the public safety, then they put the public at risk and they get what they deserve. Not abuse, but manhandling, because they are endangering the lives of law enforcement officials. So The Guardian, once again, lying as it usually does. Pennsylvania has sent a bill for $34 billion to a resident. The Pennsylvania man was in for the shock of a lifetime when he opened his bill from the state for $34 billion in taxes. He said, I only make $100,000 a year. There's no way I could owe anywhere near that. The Lancaster County resident said it was a mystifying letter. It was one of two items he received in the mail. He got a $900 refund from the federal government, and then he got a $34,576,826,561.47 tax bill from Pennsylvania. There it is. It was so long it wouldn't even fit on the form. They had to print the last $1.47 below the figure. Oh man, that's what happens. Just it's run amok. That's government runs amok. Yeah. Anyway, welcome back, folks. How y'all doing? That's the news for today. How we do? We got it in 45 minutes today. That bill would be worth a fortune on eBay. Yeah. Well, it's kind of like the e-tolls, the Haltang e-tolls that some people got. I remember people getting 500,000 Rand e-tolls like 2 weeks after the damn thing started billing people. Gabriel, hey, how's it going in Switzerland there? Yes, China's building over 350 coal-fired power stations every year, and we are shutting them down. USA can ask ESCOM for tips on load shedding schedules. Probably, scientists, yeah. The bill will be worth, yep, okay. So we don't have many of those fast food places in South Africa. No, you don't. You have the usual suspects, John Dory, Cape Town Fish Market, Chicken Lickin', McDonald's, Debonair's, Romans. Yep, that's what you have in South Africa. That sort of stuff. What's your take on Russian planes with South Africa call signs landing in South Africa? Where are you getting that information from, Clive? I've not heard about that. It's not reported in the mainstream media. What's my take? Russian planes using South African call signs? That's fraud. Yeah, 30 tons leaving 5:30 in the morning. Oh, Vine and Dutoy told you that. Where did they see them? In Uppington? Well, they are. No, there are. Well, okay. What's my take on that? I'll tell you what my take on it is. That story was reported. Sorry, I thought you. So if it's Uppington, if that's what you're talking about, Clive, yeah, no, those are contracted aircraft with probably Ukrainian pilots. I don't know who the pilots are, that are flying South African forces, resources to the DRC, Goma, and flying back from there. There's at least 80 flights. The problem is South African taxpayers are now paying for it when it's supposed to have been paid for by the DRC. So is that what you're talking about? Pip Jacobs. Beverly says, how are you doing? I'm all right. Have you seen the ANC is once again threatening about a deadly? No, I didn't see anything about that. What are they talking about? What is it? Rabies? What are they talking about? UC 90 Cape State. Thank you. Okay, let me go check the email. Did you get the email from Hendo? Hendo, did you give the email? So let me go there. So we'll go to Google, check my email, see if you sent me something there. Gmail. Which account is this? It's the correct one. Nope, nothing there. Just a bunch of comments. YouTube tell me I'm revenue sharing. Security alerts. Nope, nothing. Oh, the Joking Atheist sent me something. Okay, well, that's a while ago, though. Hello. Okay. Nope, nothing there. Nothing there. So let me just have to get you the email address there really quickly. Where's mine at? There we go. All right, sorry. Copy. Since that apparently wasn't there, send this, paste there, and you can send me the information. All right, there's the email address. Sabaro, oh, gross. Sabaro's disgusting. That food is old. Ugh. Not moldy, but just old. I tried eating Sabaro a couple times. Disgusting. They sit in malls. They're terrible. Yep. What else you got here? So there you go, James. Okay. United Cape State. Okay. Thank you for that. Chris Moonbass, good evening to you. So James Bowie, there's the information. I didn't see that he didn't send it. And Paulie's here. John Jarvis is correct. Now wait a second. No. I didn't change this. I didn't change the time, and it says 12 o'clock right now. What the hell is going on here? I tried to change it, but it wouldn't let me change it. John Jarvis, I set this for 12. You came on and said you're pretty sure the show starts at 12:30. When I looked in the screen over here in my studio, it did say 12:30, and I said, oh, mea culpa. I didn't change that. YouTube must have. Now it says 12 o'clock. That's some evil crap there. Does somebody have access to my account beyond me? Wow. Wow. John Jarvis, that's incredible. When Mashaba was in charge here, he made a huge song and dance about the millions being spent on fixing our local substation. Been a disaster ever since. Yep. Hey, Keith Alderson's here. Good to see you, Keith. Man, I am so hungry, guys. Hungry. I think you go out and get some fast food. How's that sound? Fast food. I'm not going to get the Chinese. Last time I got the Chinese, I got cramps. It was bad. It was terrible. Okay, don't forget KFC. Yeah, you got KFC. That's right. Forgot about that. Don't have your email address on this phone. Well, there's the email address, unless you're talking about my personal one. Yeah, it says 1830, but I'm going to show you what it says right. Well, how do I do this? I can do it this way. Hang on, let me zoom. I'll do it this way. There we go. Let me see if I can. Well, that ain't going to work. It's too high. Okay, I'll do it this way. I'll put the screen on so you guys can see it. So there's the screen. If you look right in the middle of the screen, it has April 29th, 12 p.m. Kind of hard to see. It's right here in the middle. Right about where the subscribe thing is. You just saw the subscribe sign. You see my mouse? Right there. 12 p.m. I didn't change it. I tried to change it, but it wouldn't let me change it because it was underway. Wow. But there was no place to change the time because it already started. Wow, that's incredible. What happened there? That's something else. What happened there? Odd question. Did stinging nettles get brought to South Africa and make a chicken soup with them? I don't know, but Brennnessel, as we call them in German, are nasty little buggers. I do not like them. Yep. Yeah, Maryland got a notice for 6 p.m. Guys, you're my witness here. I'm not making this up. I said it for 6 p.m. Maryland got a notice for 6 p.m. Then John Jarvis got a notice for 12:30 when I never changed it. John Jarvis pointed out it said 12:30. I looked, it said 12:30. I hadn't changed it. Now I come back a half hour later and it says 12 o'clock. Wow. Rolf Meyer. Yeah, of course I'd be happy to read Rolf Meyer, Chris, if you can get me a Rolf Meyer. I know who Rolf Meyer is. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if Rolf Meyer is willing to do an interview, heck yeah. As a person of interest and substance back in the old days. Worse than COVID and affecting the lungs. Okay. All right, well, I haven't seen that. So that's a new one to me, so I don't know about that. Checking that. Ulrich Fenter. EFF probably claims Cuba is advanced because it's now cashless. Yeah. Cuba has gone cashless. Zimbabwe is going cashless. Yep. Crazy. Grasshoppers here. Pip Jacobs. Okay. Don't know about that virus. Pierre. Lorraine Slabbert. Hey, Lorraine. Janet Liddy. Brian Lawrenson. Okay. All right. I think I've kind of caught up all over in the chat here. Most long drop toilets I've visited were completely safe for children. These pit latrines must be intrinsically dangerous. They are. Who lets a 3-year-old go to the toilet by themselves? I mean, honestly. Who does that? Brennnessel. Yep. No, Brennnessel are not poison ivy. Brennnessel are nettles. Burning needles. Brennnessel. Burning needles. Yep. A lot of alien seeds came with the cattle feed. That's possible. Also comes on ships, folks. And some people import this stupidity. I mean, the English settlers brought rabbits to Australia. What a disaster that was. They brought cats to New Zealand, and they nearly wiped out the kiwi and other birds. And then we also see Europeans brought dandelions to the Americas, and I hate them for it. I hate them for it. No, it's okay, Garrett. I hate them for bringing dandelions here. They are the bane of my existence. In fact, later today, if I have time, I'm going to go out with poison and poison my dandelions and get rid of them. I hate them. Cane toad, yeah, it's a disaster right there. It's another story. Thank you for that, Light Rain. Introduced species, the zebra mussel in the Great Lakes, which was unintentional. It came in the ballast of ships. That's another disaster. The gray squirrel introduced to the United Kingdom. That's another one. See, Ken got 6 p.m. What's going on here, man? It's just crazy. Crazy with YouTube. Cray. All right, so, wow. Look at this. We're not even an hour into the broadcast here, and we've already covered the news. So let me take a look if I can find that story there. By the way, I finished my article. And I've submitted it to the U.S. Army War College War Room. Hopefully I get a response, and hopefully they'll run my story. If they don't, I'll give them a few days, and then I'll run it myself. Yep. So I finished it. Programming announcement here, folks. We do have some upcoming broadcasts here. First off, tomorrow at 5 p.m. South Africa time, so 11 o'clock my time, it's the referendum party. Chief of Staff Joan Swat will be with the program. Joan and I will be talking about the upcoming election and the referendum party and its opportunity, its chances. Then on Wednesday at 6 a.m. my time, 1 o'clock in Romania, noon in South Africa, 11 o'clock in the UK. I will be hosting Janos and Ernst van Sale, the Conscious Caracal, who are in Transylvania. It's going to be a live broadcast from Transylvania. We'll be talking about minority rights and other things as part of their visit to Romania, a place that I have been previously, but not since 1998. It's been a while. Yep. And then we have on Tuesday, on Wednesday also on Wednesday, Robert King, the referendum party candidate in the Western Cape. He'll also be on the program. That's at 5 p.m. And then also on Wednesday, so that's 3-4 broadcasts that day. Also on Wednesday, it's Kenako. Koketsu Rotsani and I will, from Minimum, will be on, and Nolu may be joining us as well. Duma is not available, so. Yes, BHP's offer does not include the South African assets. That's correct. They'll probably just disentangle them. So we can tell the Effing Party if you want, Matthew, you can come to the chat. Just don't be rude. The water weed choking the Hartbeesport Dam. That's right. That's the water hyacinth. That's right. Water hyacinth is another one. Then in Florida, we have these snakes introduced, which are horrible. And then the nutria has been introduced. What a whole bunch of stuff. Green crab invasion. Yep. That's another one. Thank you very much, Light Rain. Please put all these times on the screen. On the screen. Okay. Well, I'll have to work something up here really quickly. It's all on the channel. You can go look at what's up and coming. But yeah, sure. Let me do that real quick. Oh my goodness. You're going to make me do this. It's going to take a long time here. It's going to take a long time if people disappear. So we got plus the news. So we got Tuesday, and that's going to be, what time is that? Tuesday at 11 a.m. Yes, Eastern Standard. And then 5 C8 Central Africa time. Okay. Come on. See, this takes a long time, guys. Okay. And then we got Wednesday. Wednesday at 06. And that would be it's 12 p.m. CAT. And then we got 6. Then what's the next one? That one's at 5. So that's going to be 11 a.m. Five p.m. CAT. And then we got 2 p.m. EEST. And that's going to be 8 p.m. CAT. Then we got, okay, so that's the ones that says 4. We got more coming up. I have Electoral coming up next week as well. That isn't going to work very well. That's really huge. All right, well, putting this on the screen isn't going to help a whole lot, but I'll try it. So let's see if we can do this here. All right, hope you get the email, Chris. Well, I'll check it, James, in just a moment. So here you go. Here's on the screen. You really can't see that very well. I don't know how to make that bigger unless I can view. Format, font, let's just make it really huge. Let's go 48. There we go. All right, so there you go. So Tuesday at 11 o'clock, and then at 12 o'clock I have my normal news broadcast. That's 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. in South Africa. Wednesday at 6 a.m. my time, noon in South Africa. That'll be with the Conscious Caracal. And then 11 a.m., and that'll be with the... Wait a second. That isn't right. That's Tuesday, sorry. No, that's Wednesday. Sorry, it's Wednesday. Wednesday, 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. and then at 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. So 4 broadcasts on that day. So there you go. Right. All right, so that's gone now. Got that out of the way there. So you got a chance to see that. Hopefully you got it quick enough there. Anyway. George says Americans think that wildlife walk around our cities and suburbs. Yeah, and South Africans think that we're all rich. So what's your point? Yep. Water hyacinth was introduced. Yes, I know. It's a huge mistake, Malcolm. Huge mistake. Gabrielle says you're a star. Well done. You're welcome. Be interviewing Athol Trollope from Action SA next week, as well as Mark Oppenheimer. I have some news with Mark. He's recently been appointed or elected to 2 different positions. Of course, he's the attorney, constitutional attorney that many of us know, involved in the case against Julius Malema and his hate speech. So, the referendum party, I'm also waiting for feedback from the Freedom Front Plus, talking to hopefully Dr. Corné Mulder, Peter Groenewald, and of course Cobus Hofman. So those 3 as well. I've reached out to the UDM and General Bantu Holomisa, and to the UIM, waiting to hear back from the UIM about Neil de Beer, Devin Hofmeyer, and Fatima Abdul, trying to interview all of them. It probably came with the Americans. Maybe it did. James, let me go check the email that you were just talking about. So, inbox. No email. If you've sent it, it's not there. Gate McKenzie. I've tried to get the Patriotic Alliance previously, and I've had no luck. I'll try again. I will try to get MK. and the Patriotic Alliance on here, but no, I'm not going to hold my breath. Rise Mzansi, we can try that. I did have the contact information for Herman Mashab. I'll try to get him on as well. Maggie Thatcher was opposed to the plague in the 1980s. What plague is that? Water hyacinth? Okay, so yeah. So the screens were... Times, oh, you're Starly, well done. Yeah, so the screens are on there. Times are on there. Yeah, I'm going to be very busy over the next couple weeks, and that's, of course, depends on whether I get my passport back in time. If I do, I'll be coming to South Africa, so I'll be making an appeal late. Well, it is a big sewage place now because the ANC's destroyed it. I've seen the water that's pumped up from there into the irrigation fields in Northwest. It's disgusting. It smells. It has an ugly color to it. It's unhealthy. And kids used to be able to play in it, and, in that... anyway, geez. Anyway, so sorry. Herman Ruiz used to showed me where they used to play as kids, and it's just not safe now. Hotkeys put them. When I think of hotkeys, it makes me think of Caroline van Josveld and her song, Mein Hotkey. What's that song? I love that song. So YouTube. Why are you doing that to me, man? Caroline van Josveld. There we go. Where's she at? Come on. My Hotkey. That's the one. I love that song.
Here are three...
Well, I don't want to hear that ad. That's for sure. I can interview Ronaldo, but what's the point of that? We speak every week. I'll try to get some DA folks. I don't know how well that'll go. DA isn't always happy with me. This is not what I wanted. This is just a picture of her on the album. I don't need to see that. Let's try it this way. I want the video. There we go. There it is. 9 years ago already. Wow, that's crazy. This song is 9 years old. Used to go to Hotkeys as children. Love that song. Anyway, yeah, I only moved up one place. Despite getting all those games correct, I moved one spot up, and Matt Canale has 9 more match points than me. I must have done very poorly there while I was busy. Maybe I did I not play all the games? Something happened to me. I moved down. I was in 9th position here. I've been leading this at the beginning of the season, and I must not have gotten in my picks in time or not paid attention. But yeah, Matt is way out in front with 93 match points, or 93 winning points, 21 match points. He has 125 total points. I can't catch him. I have 110. There's no way I can catch him. But Red got the yellow cap for the weekend. Moved up 2 spaces, number 4. Man, what happened to my season? I'd have to take a look at that and see what happened here. That's just crazy. What happened here? Anyway, so yeah, wow, that's a bummer. I had a great weekend and still went nowhere. Shawty, you can play for money. You can set pools up for money, but I just do it for fun. Scientist dropped to 5th. See, Afrikaans singer mate, his name escapes me now, did a huge successful contest. I don't know who that is. Menage a Trois, my campaign is over. The primary election was April 23rd, and I got destroyed. I got crushed. Not a good use of my time or resources. I did what I could to try to save the country, and it's out of my hands. So it's on the voters, and they'll regret their mistakes. But that's on them. Lorraine still loves my Afrikaans. My Hotkey, my Liefde, Yep. Anyway, did your raspberries make it through the solar installation workers? Yeah, no, the raspberries were on the opposite side of the house, so they weren't even affected. The solar panel guys came around behind the studio, and went up on the roof there, so it didn't affect them. Plus, they're also fenced off. I've got wooden fence, or not fence, but a wooden box around them. So, well, thank you, Lorraine. I appreciate that. Ek is gelukkig. Campaign's over, folks. We used to go in Hotkeys as kids. Yeah. No, I love that song. This is one of my favorite Afrikaans songs. Yeah. Caroline van Jaarsveld, she's something else. But anyway, that's a whole other story. Great video, too. I wonder how old these kids are. These kids that were in here, like high school sweethearts sort of thing, that was 9 years ago. The girls are like 15 now, or 18, they're in their 20s. So, and the kids, the boys that are in that. So, yep. Anyway. Yeah, Super Brew, it can be played for fun or for profit. But I don't do profit. I don't do gambling, so we don't do that. And like I said, I led the league for the first 8 or 9 weeks, and then suddenly I'm down in 9th place. Again, I must not have submitted picks or something. I don't recall what happened. Because when I'm paying attention, I have a great weekend. I had 12 out of 13 games. The only game I got wrong was the Lions. And I admittedly took a bit of a flyer on the Lions. I thought they might be able to pull it off, but they were atrocious. And in no small measure that it can be attributed to the quality of the Munster defense, which shut them down. Yep. Play some, I don't know what the heck is Geek Course. I don't know what that is. Yeah, so Super Rooting go so well, excuse me. I'm just trying to recover financially from spending money on the campaign, my tax returns, waiting for them to come in to pay my credit card bills that are outstanding. And then I've got to try to put the money back in savings accounts, but that's going to take a long time. But hey, good news today. It took only just short of a decade, but good news. Good news. Today, or this month, I should say, in May of 2024, I finally have paid more in principal than in interest for my home mortgage. So now from going forward, the interest will decline and the principal will rise as I pay down the debt. That's an exciting thing for me. I'm very excited about that. Also, on the solar panel front, set a record this month, although it should have been sooner. The beginning of the month was atrocious, but a lot of good 40 kilowatt days here in the last few days. So the last week, I would say that. So this year, the record was 793 in March, which is still spring, winter time. In April, it's spring, 820. So I'm now 27 kilowatt hours ahead of the best month I ever had. And we still have the rest of today. It's 6 kilowatt hours, which is somehow the peak. It should be 8, but it says 6. And I've got another 6 hours of sunshine here. I'm at 13 already. So 6 times 6 is 36. 46. That could take me almost 50 kilowatt hours if the sun stays out, but the clouds have been coming and going, knocking out the photons. So, yeah, that would take me another 6 hours and 30. It'd take me 850, and it gives me the potential to. I'm not going to make 900. It's a shame. Could have made 900 this month, but not going to make it. He was the inspiration for Steve Hofmeyer. I didn't know that. Did not know that. Thank you for sharing that. I don't know who that is. Wow. There you go. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. Let me find something to read now for cons, since people find my accent funny. Let's try rapport. There we go. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see what they've got to say here in rapport. They want me to pay to get into it. Come on, man. Do you not have an article that's not? What do you mean meld on? I mean, I've got a freaking News 24 subscription. I should. See, that's so sick of that. Let's go to Huisgenoot. Let's try that. Yeah, there we go. What's this? Come on. Wie gaan dit vies? Anyway. All right. Well, I'm not going to do the Afrikaan stuff. Forget that. It's not cooperating. Anyway. Try Marola. Okay. There you go. Yeah, Maroela. Media. Marola Media. Gratis Afrikaans News on queer plek. Okay, Anfa alle cookies. Okay, got it? What do we got here? What do we got? Laat staan les van intensiteit. Never seen that word before. Okay. Ondanks die verlielerlei uitdagings wat de land steeds in die gezicht. Wow. Zuid-Afrikaners, baanbrekers. Oh, there you go. Anyway, enough of that. Simple Minds did a song about Mandela. Really? Mark says, was it a party once and played a Neil Diamond song? Someone said he sounds like Steve Hofmeyer. Yeah, I know. I've heard that before too. Yeah, it's funny. He does great Neil Diamond tribute stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was chatting with Steve earlier today, and I was chatting with a lot of people earlier today. I was busy tearing up cool beans. All right, Roger. All right, so I heard back from Corne Mulder from the Freedom Front Plus. Going to get him. And waiting to hear back from hang on a second. May 1st. Did I just say something? May 1st is at 4 p.m. Hang on. Shoot, that's Wednesday. Shoot. We just covered that. Who did I say was the first? So, hang on a second. I think it was this guy. Referendum party. Yeah, that's 5 p.m. Okay, cool. We're good. Wow, okay, so we just got Fatima Abdul confirmed for May 1st at 4 p.m. So that's 5 broadcasts on Wednesday. I am going to be so knackered. Have you tried any AI apps to do stuff? No, I haven't tried any AI. I did try it for the song. That was pretty cool. We did the rap song. That was pretty cool. I have 3,224 kilowatts for the month. Wow. For my month, let me see how many kilowatt hours I've got. You got 3,000. I already said I've got 700. Well, you got a lot more panels than I do, George. Is that on your residence or your business? Yeah, I know, Shawnee. I'll need to keep my snacks handy. So I just got Fatima Abdul confirmed for May 1st at 4 p.m. my time. Yep, that is by Aleka. So we'll have Fatima. Let me go back now. I got to look at this. So on Wednesday, I'll have 6 a.m., noon, South Africa time, Ans van Sale and Janos. And then at 10 o'clock, 4 p.m. South Africa time, Fatima Abdul. 11 o'clock, 5 p.m. South Africa time, Robert King. 6 p.m. noon time, my time, the news. And then at 2 p.m., 8 o'clock your time, Kanako. Man, I'm going to be so knackered on Wednesday. Australian trees in South Africa. What is that? Oh, yeah, those trees. Yeah. Yeah, those things that suck up all the water. I know what you're talking about. Those trees are on the route when you get past, when you leave Howick and you're headed down to Durban, you see those trees on the side when you go through that valley on the road. Yeah. I can't think of the name of that tree. Gum tree. Are they gum trees? Let me see what that is. So the black wattle. Is that the one? No. That's the one. I think that's the one. The black wattle. Let me see. It's the eucalyptus? No. Maybe it is the eucalyptus. That's the one. Eucalyptus is the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, it's a eucalyptus tree. That's the one. Yep. That's the damn things that those little koala bears eat. Blue gum tree. That it's not eucalyptus. Blue gum tree. Blue gum. Yep. Yeah, blue gum tree, South Africa. That's the one. Invasive species, South Africa. There's a website for that. Maybe it's the family of the eucalyptus. Well, it's taking a long time for this page to load. There, that's the one. Salingna gum. It's a eucalyptus. Yeah, okay. We're talking about the same tree. Okay. Yeah, this is the one I'm talking about. This thing is, oof. That's the tree right there. Black wattle, jacaranda. Yeah, well, the jacaranda, we're happy with that invasive species. And blue gum trees. Yep. Now I don't think anybody's complaining about the jacaranda. I don't think anyone's complaining about that. But yeah, it is a eucalyptus. That's right, Mark. It's a eucalyptus tree. Yep. That's what you call the black wattle? Okay. Port Jackson tree. Zion, I've never heard of a Port Jackson tree. Interesting. So, still no email there. I'm double checking that email. Are you sure you got the right email there, James? There's nothing there. I did have someone try to give me AI for Ask Chris Anything, so it would manage the comments and automatically respond to comments on my videos, but I don't care for that. People deserve a response from me, good or bad, if they're going on my website. So anyway, I gained 1 subscriber. Thank goodness. Get close to 900 there. Where are the most jacaranda trees? I think they're in Pretoria, although Harare has a lot, but I've never been Harare. You're right. That's right, Garrett. That is a eucalyptus grove there in Somerset West where those bees are. You are correct. 100%. Yep. Sound like it comes from the Cape Province. What's that? Black wattle? Yeah, the jacarandas in Pretoria are just freaking awesome when they're in bloom. I love it. Yeah, they are beautiful. I've never been to Harare, but I've heard they're nice there too. Standing at the West Cliff Hotel overlooking Bedford View. Right now, Chris? Okay, that's interesting. Well, I don't know where I'll be standing in 3 weeks, but hopefully it'll be in South Africa. That passport needs to come out. I need to check on the status of that today. Hopefully they're processing my passport, which would be a good sign. They already cashed the check, so they should be processing. The quicker I can plan my trip, the less likely I'm going to get screwed on price, because it isn't going to be cheap, that's for darn sure. And I'm very sensitive to price now that I've mortgaged my future running for office. Leovin says there is a South African tree called the Vunipola tree, which looks similar to jacaranda, but you can't get the trees anywhere. We wanted to get, as you are not supposed to plant jacarandas. Oh, really? Yes, Marilyn, thank you. But unfortunately, your accommodation doesn't travel. It's not in the Western Cape. It's not in the Eastern Cape. It's just there in Gauteng, which is lovely. And I'm looking forward to it. But I do need to get my passport back. Now, my next question is this. Remember what Durko did to me, not Durko, Home Affairs did to me with, telling me I was undesirable, but I had to get that fixed. I wonder if that's going to be a problem for me, a new passport. If they send back the canceled passport, I'll bring it with me with the canceled passport, just so if there's any questions. But if they make a mistake and don't give me my canceled passport, then I'll be traveling on the new passport. Shouldn't be an issue because in the system, it shows that it was corrected. Anyway, guess what? I'm eating fresh snook. Wow. You had a braai? Google the West Cliff Hotel images from the infinity pool. Okay, let's take a look at that. Okay, I get rid of all these other things. So, what's this? The West Cliff Hotel. From the infinity pool. Yeah, it's actually a Google search item. Four Seasons West Cliff. Is that what we're talking about? Well, that's not very helpful, that picture. That's useless. That doesn't tell me anything. Is it the West Cliff in Joburg? Pop. Ugh. No, thank you. No, thank you. Yeah, snook as a fish. Isn't that a snake? No, it's a snake fish. Anyway, yeah, so, wow. I don't think I've ever eaten it, to be honest. Don't think I've ever eaten it. But I know what I could go for right now. I could really go for some barbecued burgers. Or go for a braai, The rain is laughing. Yeah, that's the one. Yep. All right, well, I looked and wasn't that interesting. So, James, still no email from you. Let me look at my... Is there even a... There's not even a spam folder, is there? Spam. I got 4 in spam. Oh, okay. This is from April. Okay. How do I tell it's not spam in Google? There we go. Not spam. Okay. So let me go back here and we try to find that one I just had. There it is. This is Richard Lemmer put this guy in contact with me. All right, Richard, this guy's email went to my spam. I happen to find it. Okay. Okay, cool. I'll have to write to him. So late today, but better late than... Hey, Sue, what's going on? Real farm butter and lemon juice, says Petra. Okay. There are images that show Bedford view from the jacarandas clearly. Oh, gotcha. Hey. Ach, Askisman. All right, well, I have an email I have to respond to when I get offline here, so I'll take care of that. Anyway, it's early in the week here, folks, but next, wait. No, this week's going to be quite busy. One interview tomorrow, and my goodness, several on Wednesday. Man, it's going to be a long, long day Wednesday. I'll be taking a break at probably a late afternoon nap. And who knows? This might be gone on Wednesday. What do you think? Is Paulie still here? I know Paulie would be very happy to see that gone. See me without a beard. 85 degrees outside. Folks, that is way too warm for me. 85 Fahrenheit. Ooh. 1 month till the Zuma tantrum. Yep. Fish biltong. Okay. And this is why I always talk about food in this channel. I don't know, because human beings need to eat food. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's what's going on. I don't know. That's funny. Why do we always talk about food on this channel? It's a good question. I got text messages here. What's going on? Okay, cool. Oh, gosh. Sorry. Anyway. Give me a wonderfication for myself and Arctic. What is? Oh, when the beard is gone. Wednesday's a holiday, says Craig. What's the holiday? What's the holiday? Well, it'll be a busy day for the mods. Well, Hendo, don't come home early. Just, there's going to be plenty of broadcasts that day, so do what you got to do. Yeah, that's right. Lorraine says we all love food. Absolutely. Fish built. I had steamed crabs last night. They kind of sucked. They were tiny. They had a special on them. I got 2 dozen for the price of slightly more than 1 dozen large, but they were crappy. I didn't enjoy it. And the crab cakes have gotten sucky. Workers' Day. Oh, that's Labor Day. It's May 1st. That's the communist. I'm sorry. That's right. The communists celebrate May 1st. It's May Day. The communists love that. Yeah, you're right. It is a holiday. I forgot about that. What's wrong with pineapple? Pineapple on pizza. It's the best. Yeah, all the notifications of wonderful upcoming events. Cool. I'm glad you got them, Sue. That's awesome. Awesome. Anyway, yeah. Yep, says Lorraine. Yep. Workers. Yeah, it's communist, man. The communists love May 1st. That's their thing. Hey, Jax. I'm okay. I don't know about everybody else. I think most people are doing pretty well. Feldrif is the Bakom Mecca of the world. Really, Mark? Didn't know that. I know this. Wish I could have spent a little more time there. I was really rushing through Feldrif when I went through there. Had to get over to check out on the damage from the flooding that took place. Excuse me. Yeah. And then I spent the night down there in Ceres. And boy, my Ceres, man, it was freaking frost on the ground when I woke up. That was crazy. Yep. Lorraine, you clocked that. What did Garrett say? Mayday. Yep. Yeah, I know. Workers' Day. It's the commies love that. That's their thing. Speaking of which, that reminds me, I've got to get ready for some events here for veterans in May. We have 3 different events in May we got to do. 8. What's this? One in Denmark is just rotten. The only place where gill netting is. Oh, are you serious? They can still do gill netting there? That's wild. Well, how do they catch shrimp if you can't do gill netting? That's an interesting one. Unless you're raising them, how do you catch shrimp? Anyway, I don't know what the answer on that one is. All right, folks, we've got a busy week here. Wednesday especially, it's all coming together. So next week, Athol Trollope, Mark Oppenheimer, Dr. Corney Mulder, probably also Peter Kernefeld, just depends. But yeah, we've got commitments now. So wow, looking forward to that coverage. So if my passport comes back in the meantime, I'll have all those interviews and all the election coverage. Plus, I'll have to start planning my trip to South Africa. Woo! A lot coming up. Anyway, thanks for being here. Be sure to hit the like. What's going on? Suddenly the crowd just rose. I can't go somewhere now. We just went up by a few people. People tuned in late. What's going on? Anyway, but seriously, I do have to break off here. 85 degrees. My goodness. We just had nearly frost a couple nights ago. We had frost warning a couple nights ago. Now it's 85 degrees. You don't get frost warning unless temperature's below 32 Fahrenheit. So that is a 53-degree temperature rise. Danish herring. Never had Danish herring. All right, thanks, everybody. Have a good night. Take care of yourselves. Be safe out there. And we'll see you later on if something's breaking, or we'll see you tomorrow for sure. Cheers, and thanks for tuning in. Really do appreciate you guys being here. Bye-bye.